So today we're going to dive into this really powerful parable. It's all about the steep price we pay for perfect safety and the wild beauty of a life that's truly fully lived. It's a story that puts two ancient ideas head to head: control versus acceptance, cold, hard reason versus pure rapture. Let's get into the tale of the traveler and the village of walls. And this one line just gets right to the heart of the whole thing, doesn't it? It sets up this incredible paradox that in our obsessive quest to build a perfectly safe life, we might just be building ourselves a very, very comfortable prison. Okay, let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in a village that thought it had cracked the code to existence. I mean, this was a place where the messy, chaotic pulse of life was completely silenced, all in favor of the cold, clean hum of logic. Just try to picture this place. You've got these massive walls, right? But they're not just for protection. They're basically a philosophy carved in stone. Inside, everything is just perfect order, straight lines, right angles everywhere. It's a total rejection of the wild, curvy, unpredictable shapes you see in nature. The people here honestly believed that reason could solve any problem, that by shutting out all the chaos of the world, they had become masters of their own fate. And that's the crucial point. Their homes were boxes, their daily routines were boxes, their minds were boxes. They had achieved absolute safety, sure, but at what cost? They had built themselves this gorgeous gilded cage, trading the vast open sky of possibility for a secure, predictable ceiling. Safe? Absolutely. But they could no longer fly. So into this world of perfect, sterile order steps a catalyst for pure chaos, a figure who literally carries the wilderness with him, representing everything this village has tried so desperately to lock out and forget. His arrival? Well, it's the beginning of the end for their quiet peace. Our traveler doesn't show up with weapons or gold. No, he comes with a simple staff wrapped in ivy. Now, the symbolism here is just perfect. Ivy, it doesn't grow in straight lines. It twists, it climbs, it overruns any structure in its path. It is the very symbol of untamed nature, of a life force that refuses to be contained by walls or logic. He's the living, breathing embodiment of the entire world they've locked away. And he brings with him a pretty radical message. He sings about the Greek god Dionysus and this idea he calls divine madness. Now, for the villagers, any kind of madness is a flaw, right? It's an error in the system that needs to be corrected. But the traveler, he completely reframes it. He argues that this chaotic energy isn't a bug. It's the feature. It's the very source of vitality, the passion that creates art, the courage that fuels love. It's the spark that actually makes us feel alive. And this is his core argument. He tells them that joy and terror aren't opposites. They're two sides of the same intense, powerful coin. To feel the highest of highs, we're talking true rapture, pure ecstasy, you have to be willing to risk the lowest of lows. By building walls to keep out pain and fear, they accidentally built a barrier that also keeps out profound, earth-shattering joy. Now, you can imagine, this whole philosophy of embracing chaos, it's a direct assault on the elders' entire way of life. And so what happens next isn't a battle of swords, but a confrontation of worldviews, a total clash between two fundamentally different ways of seeing the world. The elders, well, they're coming from what you might call a Socratic, rationalist point of view. They believe the universe is basically a machine, a big puzzle to be solved. To them, suffering isn't some meaningful part of life, it's just a glitch. It's a bug in the system waiting for a logical solution. Every shadow, every mystery can eventually be explained away by the bright light of reason. But the traveler's comeback is just so sharp and profound. He's basically accusing them of blasphemy, but not against a god, against life itself. He says that by trying to explain away every mystery, by refusing to accept that some things are just wild and unknowable, they've insulted the very nature of existence. They've taken the magnificent, messy poem of life and reduced it to a sterile instruction manual. And this just lays it all out so perfectly. You've got these two paths. The elders are over here trying to map the lightning, believing that if they can just chart its course, they won't have to fear the storm. But the traveler, he's inviting them to go dance in the rain, to actually feel the storm as a part of life's incredible power. One path wants to erase suffering, the other wants to embrace it. One seeks solutions for everything, while the other accepts that some things are a mystery. So the confrontation ends, the traveler turns to leave, but before he goes, he offers one final transformative invitation. It's not to his way of thinking exactly, but to a whole new way of being. Now, that is a fascinating phrase, isn't it? A tragic disposition. He's not promising them happiness. He's not promising an easier life. He's inviting them to see the struggles and challenges of life not as failures, but as essential parts of a grand, epic story. To have the courage to face life's inherent tragedy and find the profound beauty within it. And this all leads to his ultimate teaching, the philosophy of amor fati. It literally means love of one's fate. And this is so much more than just quiet acceptance. It is an enthusiastic, passionate embrace of everything your life is and has been. The wins, the losses, the joy, the pain. It's the ability to look at the whole messy picture and say yes to all of it without wishing a single thing were different. So he leaves them with this clear path to what you could call emotional liberation. Step 1, reframe hardship. See it as part of an epic story. Step 2, embrace what he calls the sacred fire. Understand that suffering isn't a bug, it's the very force that forges and strengthens your soul. And finally, the ultimate step. Stop looking for the escape hatch. Love your fate exactly as it is, and say yes to the whole chaotic, beautiful, terrifying thing. And so the parable ends by turning the question right back at us. You know, the walls of the village aren't always made of stone, are they? Sometimes there are routines, our fears, our refusal to step into the unknown. This story leaves us all to wonder what we might be missing in our own quest for safety. What life, what rapture, what magnificent storm is waiting for us, just on the other side.